Greg is here.
Hello, Greg. Good
Hello,
morning.
how are you?
I'm good, Greg. How are you?
I'm doing okay, thank you. Did you get? I guess we should wait for John. I'm trying to reach John. I haven't reached him yet this morning.
That's okay. That's okay. Let's wait. From our end, we have Ajish and Binu to join. So let's wait for them also.
Oh, great. Okay.
How's the December in the US?
Freezing cold. It's yeah, it's colder than I remember last December.
Oh, was that?
Yeah, actually, around this time last December, we had a little bit of snow, but it felt warmer. This is just cold. It was not fun.
So you don't have snow this time, but it's more colder.
Yeah, that's last winter it was cold, but we didn't have snow. It didn't precipitate when it was cold enough, and it only rained. It was very frustrating.
Oh, was it? Oh, was it?
Yeah, it took all the fun out of it.
We can understand from the outfit that you're wearing today.
What's the weather like there?
That it's just usual. So we are we don't have such cold winters. It's a pleasing climate.
Yeah.
So
That's true.
I'll not say it's very cold also.
It's actually warmer than the summers in Chicago.
Very much. So we are in a coastal region. In fact, down south it's mostly coastal.
Oh, that's nice. How far are you away from the water?
Well, I'll say if we look a straight scale, will not be very far. Will not be much farther than 15 kilometers
Oh,
from the
wow, that's
sea.
nice.
Yeah.
It's like 10
So
miles.
I personally, my house is just 3 kilometers away from the sea, Arabian Sea.
Wow, very nice.
I mean, it's just because of the pandemic. In fact, you should come down. You should visit our office. You should visit the entire down south of India. We would be
I would
happy
like
to
to do that
take you
actually
around.
sometime. I think India would be a fun place
Once
to
we
go.
successfully,
What's COVID?
Yeah,
What's COVID happening over there? Is it bad there?
well, it's yes, I'll say it's bad, but people have moved on to the normal life already.
Yeah.
That COVID pandemic fear is no more there. Now that it almost look normal. Apart from that, a new work culture has evolved. That is, people are mostly comfortable working from home, and people don't really go out for leisure. Apart from such things, it's just normal here.
Yeah. Yeah. For us, everyone's wearing masks, and it's we have these bursts where, well, Thanksgiving came along, so everybody went to their family dinners, and they saw their relatives, and there were kids involved, and all of a sudden we had a spike of COVID again. So nobody stayed home the way they should have.
Okay.
It was
And I'm sure that you're driving a lot these days.
Yeah, well, I actually have been driving a lot. But
From what I understood, you're a person who loves traveling a lot.
I like traveling. Yeah. But it's more recently. It's been more pleasure than business. Usually, it's business that makes me travel around. I go out to
So I
Colorado a
insist.
lot to see the Olympic Committee. So I haven't done that in the
Okay.
past year.
Oh, that's nice. So I insist that you should travel down to India as well, especially to our region. So let's first successfully complete our project. Let us launch it, and then we'll be happy to host you here.
I would love to go. It'll be a lot of fun.
Let's have John as well.
Yeah, if he can get away. But he's not answering my text yet. I don't know where he is.
Okay, I mean, Ajish, I don't think we would mind waiting for John.
Let me give him a call and see what he says.
No worries.
Oh, he's at a doctor's appointment. He just texted me. Okay, hold on.
So, by the time John comes,
Okay, he's
Greg,
saying he's going to be an hour.
oh, is that? It'll take
Yeah,
an hour for him.
he's at a doctor's appointment. So he won't be available until about 10:30 or 11.
So an hour from now.
Yeah, about an hour from now, hour and a half from now.
Ajish, what do you think? Should we reschedule, or what do you think, Greg? Shall we move on with the call, or should we reschedule? What do you think? What is the best to do?
I would. I had a couple of things that I wanted to talk about as far as what I've seen, but I haven't even been able to catch up with John to talk about what what I've seen so far. And as far as the logos go, I sent you that PDF of logos. I know I'm getting ahead of myself here, but there are slide 3, 4, and 5 are the ones that I like. And of the 3, slide 5 is the one that has the best UV signal, UV logo, I think.
Greg, let me share the screen and then we can talk about it right now.
All right.
Do you see my screen?
I do.
So you were saying you liked slide
That
number
3,
5.
4, and 5. Yeah, you just passed them. That's 5 right there. Yeah, that's 3.
3, 4, and 5. This one, right?
Yeah.
That's a nice logo.
I think it is. I think the colors should be different. So we're looking for a couple of logos. One logo will be like that, sort of like an icon, right? And then another logo that would be longer, that would look good on the top of a letterhead or on a hat or going down the sleeve of a long sleeve T-shirt, which would be number 4. And I think if we had the logo on 5, the UB on 5 on 4, it would look good.
So Greg, you are planning for different logos for different usages of purposes, right?
Yeah, like we need one that's just an icon that would look good, like in a circle or something like that. And then like that one right there would look good on the chest of a T-shirt or on a hat. And the one that's above that would look good on letterhead and some other stuff. I think that UB is too spread out. It's too long. That's what I like about 5. 5 is a little more compact. And 3 has different colors that I sort of like.
So I think we can go for 4 and 5. 5 we can. I think we can change the colors to what like red and blue, black combos.
Yeah, Milan, give me a second, Milan. So, Greg, our focus needs to be only towards the website and the mobile app, and in this discussion, we can zero in on the logos that will be relevant for the website as well as the mobile.
That's the point.
Yeah. So we are talking about the number 3. This is number.
That's 2.
Second. This is two. The blue and gray one is two, and
That's
this
three.
is three you're planning to use for t-shirts, and four
More
is
like
for
five. I think five is better for all around. Three just has different colors. Um, but five has, I think, a UV that's the nicest of the bunch.
right. So let's uh, let's freeze this and then iterate over this logo. So we'll try to send you a few iterations of this or a few variations of the colors of this particular logo.
That's the next
Uh,
thing is what we're going to settle on as the three main colors. I want to make sure that we have that sort of nailed too.
right. So we settled with this logo and we try different all the three colors that you suggested, like the red, blue, and black, right, or gray.
Yeah, yeah, some kind of blue and some kind of red, and then either a gray or a black or something like that. Um,
Sure. Sure. So we'll take that back to our drawing board and try to get you a few variations of this logo in different colors, and then you can choose what
okay,
would be uh, for our website and the mobile app,
okay, good.
and then uh, we can get on track to start designing the pages with these logos and yeah, and further. All right, so team, do you Milind, you were saying something? Sorry to have cut you off.
No, no, no. I was just saying we can fix on the five with the colors of three.
Okay, let me three. He also wants blue, so
I would like,
Yeah, I mean, yeah, we can add that. I mean, we can. I mean, work on five. That's what I was telling actually.
right, yeah,
Five seems neat. Yeah.
yeah, the UV on five is the best that I've seen so far. But I'm up for suggestions if you guys think of something better. Um, I think that could be the most professional and also be used in general areas. So if
yeah. It's a
anything, I would
pretty
take the U and make it a little bit tighter, but that's me. I'm going to be talking to another logo specialist later on and see what they say. Um, so that's all. Well, do you want to just make the rest of the conversation an hour from now and have John on the call?
sure. Javed, I have an overlap 1 hour from now, but I'll try to be there as much as possible. But let's plan this right after this meeting. But yeah,
Uh,
um, it's gonna be 10:30 for you, right, Greg?
Sorry.
So you want to speak at 10:30?
Yeah.
All right.
well, before we conclude the call, um, Greg, I want to check if you have seen the second part of the document which we shared yesterday, which Jibin shared yesterday, explaining the scope of the project. The initial scope and the future scope. So
Did you
I
see
see
the,
that you've commented.
yeah, I
Pardon?
commented on the whole thing.
Well, I couldn't find any comments on that scope part. I don't know if I missed. Jibin, is there a comment? I think I missed.
No, I was not able to find any comments there in that part
Can you
of the
help us,
document.
Greg? Well, in that document, we couldn't see any comments of yours in the second part. That is scope finalization. So, can you help us with that document?
Oh, on that part.
Yes, the second part of the document, that is scope
Um,
finalization. So I'll explain that. So these are the features where when we discussed in the last call a few extra scope. In fact, few extra features came into picture while John was speaking. So those weren't considered in the initial scope when we mentioned. So I've added it as a future scope. We can do two things with it. If you want, we can add it in the current scope. We can estimate the time for these new things and add it to the current scope, or we can move it to the phase 2, however you want it. So that's the reason I've mentioned it. So you can let us know, how do you want to take it further?
Okay, so
Do you want to
I did some research on the EU for child protection for our COPA laws. Those are all fine for the EU. So we can just use our COPA laws, which is under 13, a parent has to be involved. And what I would do, and then the only thing we have is under 17 and under, say under 18, there are organizations that if you join their group, you have to have parental oversight. And that can be also just that's driven by the governing body or the organization that has the group saying all our people, all our kids, all our youth have to be overseen by a parent. So that would be pretty easy to do. So I don't think that's really enough of a difference to make it future scope, because we were cutting down where we've given up on the different child protection laws now that we know that the EU is basically the same as the United States. So we can just leave that as under 13, we need a parent involved. And above that, it should just be the child or the parent can ask to have their parent or child involved. So, but it doesn't have to be something where it's set up. It's just like, I want my parent to be involved, or I want to be involved with my child, and do it that way, as opposed to have some kind of an algorithm to make that happen. And especially different for different countries. We don't have to, I've given up on that because it looks like it's not necessary. 13 is, under 13 is that number that they'll use throughout the EU. So I think we're good there. The 11 profile types really are, I think the way I described them in my document does a good job of explaining the different users that will be using the site and the tools. Did you see my document?
Yes.
Yeah, yes.
Ajish, Milind,
Uh,
yeah. Can you get understand what document is he referring to?
Yeah, yes. So Greg,
You got it,
I
right?
saw your document,
Because I got a bit
and
confused. That's the reason I asked you.
yeah, it's a detailed one, but I have some clarifications related to that document.
Sure.
So you were mentioning subgroups under groups everywhere, but
yes.
yeah, I don't see. I mean, I couldn't see any subgroups under groups in current UB Sports website or groups,
Oh,
and yeah. So I was
Uh,
actually
Mil
confused at that point.
Milanth, maybe it may be with some other special roles like the Greg's login or anything like that. In
okay. I'm
our
going to share
common
my
login,
screen.
yeah, sure. That will be
Yeah,
helpful,
sure,
Greg.
sure.
All right. Do you see my screen?
Yes.
All right.
Yes.
I'm going to go to UB Sports now. And I left off looking at my personal profile, which has those sport roles down here. And there's only one that would have to be added on to this part of it for my document. And I'm going to pull up my document as well.
And one other thing, Greg, what if he changes his role in between?
I'm sorry, I didn't understand that. What?
No, what if the user changes the role in between? So
Oh yeah, the
But,
user can have a number of roles. That's the point. Okay, so here we have the anonymous user is somebody who hasn't signed in, so we don't have to worry about them as, you know, setting up something for them and giving them permissions. They cannot see more than a paragraph of any of our internal content from ambassadors. That's the only thing that I would say that I would put on a restriction on the anonymous user. And then we have just the fan, the athlete, coach, parent, the pro or Olympic athlete, or a sports administrator. And those are really the only types we see. The tools that you get, like the facility resource manager, league administrator, and group team admin, that's basically a multi-level group tool. And that's found, I'll show you where that's found. Hold on. Under groups, if I create a group, I name my group, there's a group type, and a group type has the multi-group league already in there. So that would be, it would give you an opportunity to put down, to have under you subgroups, which would be the teams. And then other would be the parents and the coaches and the referees. So those would be subgroups under that. And that's why you have the multi-group league there. You can set that up on UB Sports already. The training room is for the athletic trainer. And we do not have in here a class trainer group. That would be another one that we would put here. Sport portal is really that only I see that, because only I can set up as a super admin. I'm the only person who would see sport portal. And that would be if I'm starting to start up a new sport that I don't have on there yet. If we don't have darts up there, I could punch this and then I'll be able to set up a darts sport under that. And the only challenge there is that we have a list of sports that pops up over here. And I would have to, as a super administrator, if it's a new sport that doesn't show up here, I'd have to add that sport as another sport. And I could do that under, there's another page that allows me that control. It's under ubsports.com/sports, I think. And that gives me this page where I can add or eliminate sports. So these are all the sports that we have already pre-filled. We know that eventually we're going to have information on them and make them sport portals. A lot of them aren't sport portals yet, so I would be the one setting that up there. But so as you see, we have a lot of these things already figured out, and this is also where you can decide if your membership is open or if it's private and only by invitation. Like you can send out invitations to people who are members of the site already, and limited by request. They would the site would still be, or the portal rather, would still be closed until someone asks to be invited in, and that would be there. Visibility, either it's a public portal and everyone can see it, or it's private and the group content is only available to the members. So, you know, we have these already set up like this, and the with the document that I sent you, it actually does tweaks to this to an extent. So I think these do a pretty good job of explaining what they do and what tools they have to access. But again, as far as the types of users, we're really back down to 7 types of users. And you see all of these except sport administrator and anonymous user on the site itself already.
Greg, I have a quick question. Suppose you are you are selecting the option of that supports subgroup. How will the site look like? Can you show us a demo?
Let me see if I can find one that's set up like that. Hold on. This one I think is USTA Florida is set up as a multi. It shows here that USTA Florida has the Arthur Allen Tennis Center set up underneath it. So on here, it says governing bodies. It has the USTA. That's who is above USTA Florida. And then the USTA leagues in this area are here. And then the subs, which are clubs underneath USTA Florida, is this one here, Arthur Allen Tennis Center, Cambier Park, Florida. So if I click this, it'll take me to that club site. That's the club portal.
Okay.
And what I don't have
So
here,
that subgroup will have all the options like the ability to add videos, blogs, everything will be there, right?
yeah, and also what's really cool about the subgroups is that they can grab content, they can inherit content from any other group on UB Sports. So if I want to go back here and make admin changes under tab display and management, you see here I'm grabbing the news from the USTA players portal. I'm grabbing blogs from the tennis sport portal, and the same thing with rules and skills and drills and videos. So I was able to, in really maybe 10 minutes, populate the Arthur Allen Tennis Center, with all this information that I wanted to add. So when I go back to the tennis center, all these, the news came from, blogs came from, rules came from tennis, from the tennis portal. So it was, the database is set up so it automatically catches and imports that data from other groups. That's one of the things that makes this really cool, is that a club can grab content from the organization it belongs to, and then from the sport it belongs to as well. So those things are already set up on the site, and it shouldn't be, I'd expect you'd be able to dig into this and find out the architecture behind it pretty quickly.
Yeah, yes, we haven't tried the multi group creation. So we were actually, I have only tried out the simple group creation and the content changes, tab management stuffs and all, because I was not aware that there was something called multi-league,
Subgroups, yes.
yeah, groups.
Hey, just curious, do we have access to this, to the source code of this website, the old one?
Not yet, Ajesh.
If you
Okay.
don't, that's something you can get pretty easily. John has that information. So, you can get right down to the source code. It's, it's obviously, it's right here. And John has the wiki for all, not only the site, but also the databases. And there are two databases, one on the server farm in New York, and also there's one up in AWS already. So that's mostly for the photos and stuff.
Sure, yeah. We just need the source code and we can host it on a local environment just for them to go and check the functionality and go through the code.
Yeah, of course. The idea, the first thing that I was hoping that we could do is move the site from the server farm up into AWS and get that started to work there instead of in the server farm. That would save us.
Right. Yeah, Greg, since we are going to launch an entirely new site, I guess uh, we can just launch uh, the new one on AWS and leave the uh, other one on the existing one on the server farm itself.
Okay.
Uh,
If that,
and
I'm just trying. I think it would work for the next couple of months. It would work better if it were up in AWS as opposed to in the server farm. But I'll leave that to you.
sure, yeah, I mean, maybe you can save some dollars on if you have not already paid for the next quarter, then it makes sense to move it to AWS and performance
Yeah.
tune it.
Yeah, it's monthly. It's
Uh,
actually pretty expensive. It's like $500 a month. So,
yeah, AWS is not cheap either, but we can optimize based on the performance. But I guess right now our focus needs to be on developing the new website
yeah.
as soon as we can. So let's think about performance after this.
Okay.
Um, yeah. So somebody from the team, can you please get in touch with John to get the source code? You can host it on our local uh, environment and go through the code. Um, yeah.
Yeah, sure, Rajesh. We can do that.
Yeah, and Greg, to- a few people from the team dated that they don't they have a conflict at 10:30, so we may have to move the call to Monday.
That's fine. It'll give me time also to work on the logo a bit more and you guys time. I don't like pushing things off. But I think if John can't get on and we can't get the whole team together, then let's do that. Let's just make it Monday.
Sure.
Even I suggest that, Greg, because we have few other calls coming up in the next few hours. So we'll not. So it'll be good if we can have a bit longer time for discussion, because I think we have a couple of things to discuss. So let's have it on Monday, if you don't mind.
No, it's no problem at all. No, it's no problem.
Okay, so let's
I have a
freeze
lot
the
of.
time. Yeah, let's
It'll
let's
give.
freeze the time now itself, so that John doesn't has a conflict.
All right, I'll make sure that John knows.
Sure. I'll send out an invite, including John. Um, uh, the other thing is, yeah, I'm just assuming that you are going to iterate on slide number 5. That's the only logo you will be um, making changes to, right, Greg?
4 and 5. We need a longer one that'll look good, like on top of letterhead. So I'm thinking 4. Being that it's all in one line will make sense, and then 5 will be what we'll use around the site.
Oh, okay.
Also, if you look at the current UV Sports, it actually is in a long. It's just one word also.
Got it. I'm talking purely from a website and an app point of view. So and for that, I guess we have frozen slide number 5.
Okay,
Right.
so you like do you think that'll fit better in the architecture and of the pages themselves rather than a line like this?
Let me ask the team, guys. Do you have suggestions on which logo to use from that PDF of 6 to 7 logos for the website? Anybody has an opinion on that?
Uh,
Rajesh, for the website and the mobile apps, I think the one which is a little bit longer will be nice rather than going for a square one.
Okay. So we have a
But
long
if we
logo.
need a square section, we can actually go for a small, some concepts of an icon in which we grab the U and B part only.
Got it.
Okay.
So we have slide number 2 with a long uh, layout, and then we have slide number 3. Sorry, 4 with a long layout, and also slide number 6.
Well, I think it's 3, 4, and 5. Let me show. I'm sharing again.
Sure. So if we have zeroed in on 3, 4, and 5, then it's 4 that'll look better on a website, I believe.
Yeah, so I wouldn't
Binu,
mind making the UV the same design as in 5, this one here.
Yes, we should
Um,
use the same styles.
right, the same styles, and it doesn't have to be quite so big, but I like the idea of having it larger than the sports.
Mhm.
Got
So that's my feeling on that. But I like the font in the sports.
I personally like the fourth one, but I think
Yeah.
the development people has to say, whether it will go well with the designs that we have for the website and mobile.
yeah,
I
that's
personally like the fourth one.
yeah, Jared. So we are zeroing in on the 4th one right now
Hmm.
uh, for the website and the app.
Perfect. So that looks very subtle at the same time a bit sporty because we are talking about sports. So that looks pretty sporty.
Okay, good. So we'll work on that, right? Iterations of this with using this UV, and then we'll just worry about the colors.
Right.
All right.
So we'll work on the colors and present to you, and you can choose one of them, and we'll sign that off
All right,
as
great.
the
That's fine.
logo.
All
All
right,
right.
very good. Okay,
So we'll
so 9:30 on Monday.
That
yes.
works, Greg. Ajish can send a calendar request and we'll all
So,
be there.
so it's 10 hours difference between us and you. So it's like 10. It's like it'll be 7:30 at night then for you.
It'll be 8 o'clock for
8 o'clock.
us.
So it's 10.5 hours.
Yeah, it's 1.5 hours. You guys are 1.5 hours behind us
Okay,
when there's daylight saving.
I see. All right, cool.
Yes.
So guys,
Greg, 1 second.
yeah,
Before we end the call, I just want to make sure, Binu and Milind, are we clear on that scope finalization? Do we have any doubts? The scope finalization, which we were discussing a few minutes back regarding that doc which we shared. Binu and Milan, do we have any questions? The initial scope and the future scope. Greg just explained.
Yeah. So the one regarding the profile types. So I think the subgroup sections I was confused, but it's already there in the website, I guess. But we'll have to check on the dynamicity of the content that to be shown, as John was saying. So that part I still need a clarification on whether to involve, I mean, include in this current scope, or we'll have to uh,
Yeah,
get the
Javed,
things,
what I
yeah,
suggest
get the
is
things running,
we
and
will sit
yeah.
together and we will have a check on the website again.
yeah, it
No,
probably makes a lot more sense once
yeah,
it's
yes,
sorted.
that part is fine. Where the things subgroups are there, that part is already fine. I was talking about the dynamic content displayed in the group based on the user roles. So that part is actually new. Uh, so that thing, I mean, that part we'll have to discuss.
And
Okay.
you said the dynamic content of where? Which
Depending on the different roles in which or different role types which are logged in, we
right?
need the content to be different, right? That section. That
Okay, yeah,
section is what
yeah.
Milan
You'll
is
have to have
talking
it a
about.
little bit different, sure.
Yeah, so John was actually talking about how it should come and the precedence for user roles one above the other. So that part we haven't put much thought when we were estimating all the stuff. So that part we'll have to discuss again, I guess. The other stuffs are fine. Basically, I think the opt-out ability of emails and onboarding process are somewhat clear. So we don't have any much confusions, I guess. But this profile types and the groups will have to go through, iterate again, I guess. That would be better if John also is there on the call, I guess, because he clearly has some concepts and points over there for the dynamic content.
Okay. And I'll talk to him over the weekend, and we'll confer on this as well, and see if we can make it more clear for you guys as well.
Yeah, yes, that would be very helpful, Greg.
All right.
Meanwhile, we'll go through the website and dig if there are any other features which we were not able to find.
Right. I think the only stuff that is not defined here is the because they're new, the athletic trainer app and the recruitment tool app and the studio trainer app. Those are things that we added in the original request. So those are new that we don't have on the site yet, and that we're counting on you guys to come through on building.
Yeah, yes.
Part of that contract.
Yes, I understood that part. But Greg, I'm having a confusion right now because whether these things will be, I mean, dependent on the original site. So we'll have to check that scope also. Because
hey, I'm gonna have John put up the source code or the link to the source code as soon as he gets in touch with me today. So you'll have it available for the next couple of days before we have the meeting.
Yeah, sure. That will be helpful.
All right. So I'll have him send the current wiki with everything on it.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Thank you very much. I will again. I'll be sending you stuff over the weekend, and I'll make sure John sends the wiki with the links for everything as well.
Sure. That's nice.
Yeah.
Okay, Greg. So have a great Friday, Greg.
Yeah,
Great.
we'll try to spend some time on Monday to add colors to the logo, number 4, and try to get your opinion on that.
Great. Thanks, Ish. I'll do the same over here.
Super.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys. See you
Thanks,
Monday.
Greg.
Thank you all. Bye-bye.
Thank you, Greg. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Okay. Thank you, Brett. Bye.
Bye.